All right, everybody. Welcome back for another one. And I figured it was about time to get back into it. Because as I mentioned here on Twitter, if you haven't been following me, I believe crypto is definitely about to resume the bull market. All right. I think halftime is almost over. And as I said, I hope you accumulated. Because if you didn't accumulate, you might have one problem.
The only problem you're gonna have is that you didn't buy more.
In the end, you're going to think, wow, I should have bought more. All right. Everyone who's been in crypto would tell you that. They'd also say, I probably should have just held and did nothing. Right? Most people will say that. Even the more expert traders will say stuff like that from time to time because this market goes up so much in percentages. It's bumpy along the way, but these kind of returns are not something that you see in any other market, and you really only have to just hold and wait. So, halftime's coming to an end. Let's move on. So, I've been away for a few days, weeks, whatever. Just taking my time, looking at the market. Accumulation zone going on, in my opinion. Another bull move coming. But the most important thing I've seen happening in this space over the past few weeks or so is this theme that's been going on. So that if you didn't see, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren prods SEC to regulate crypto exchanges and warns Congress might need to take additional action, right? So we're seeing the SEC involved with Ripple, XRP right now. Personally, I think that's a distraction. And as Elizabeth Warren mentioned, the real thing that they're going to come after is going to be these exchanges. She says, lack of regulation in the crypto market is unsustainable, and that cryptocurrency exchanges should be regulated similarly to the security exchanges. So, I agree with that for the most part. Moving on, kind of tying in with this. Fidelity Digital Assets plans 70% increase in staff as institutional interest grows. So this is important as well, because you can see Fidelity Digital Assets planning on expanding in staff by 70%, following a surge in institutional interest in the crypto space. All right. So institution still want to get into this, all right? But they can't yet because of crap like this, all right? So we got the senators saying that regulations need to happen. You got institutional demand on the sidelines, but they can't really participate yet, all right? And they can only participate in Bitcoin on Fidelity Digital Assets. So the firm is set to hire an additional 100 employees in technology and operations, and the roles are set to be based in Dublin, Boston, and Salt Lake City. The aim of the new hires is to be able to help the business develop new products and expand into cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin, according to the president of Fidelity Digital Assets, Tom Jessup. All right, so they want to expand to other things than Bitcoin, the one with arguably the least amount of utility of all of them, and they just need regulatory clarity to come together, right? Well, who else is pitching a similar theme? Caitlin Long says crypto crackdown is targeting USD access points, and it has begun, right? So Avanti's Caitlin Long expects the U.S. Federal Reserve to make it harder for crypto companies to access USD payment channels. Caitlin Long, founder and CEO of the pioneering bank for the crypto sector, Avanti Bank and Trust, has declared that the regulatory crackdown on crypto has begun. The Wall Street veteran highlighted her thoughts on the current regulatory situation in the U.S., predicting that authorities will not target BTC and Ether directly. Instead, they will opt to go after intermediaries and access points for US dollars into the sector. The issue isn't Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other crypto protocols. They're just fine. The risk comes from the bank's operational processes. All right. So I've been talking about the same concept for months. It's easy to, everyone's like, oh, they can't regulate crypto. What? Yeah, if you're a child, then yeah, that's what you think, right? But it's easy for them at this point. They don't have to keep allowing the actual US dollars to go out into the cryptoverse per se. They don't have to let that happen, right? And where they come at it is at the exchanges, and you're seeing that happen right now as what I'm showing you. So it doesn't mean crypto is going away. It just means that crypto is going to eventually probably be regulated similarly to securities exchanges instead. All right. So that people like Fidelity Digital Assets can get more involved, who are a security exchange. Make sense? All right. Well, what's the significance here? Caitlin Long, as mentioned, she has an amazing blockchain. So I was going to try and show you her credentials, but I couldn't help but notice this chain she's wearing. All right. Anyway, so what has she done? What does her resume look like? Well, she went to Harvard Law. She worked at Morgan Stanley for 9 years, and she founded the Wyoming Blockchain Coalition and worked as on the blockchain task force at the state of Wyoming legislature. And now she founded this crypto bank, essentially, and custody. So she's well plugged in, of course. And when you got a chain like that, you probably know what's going on. So anyway, Caitlin Long says that this exchange crackdown is continuing to happen, and I believe it's coming as well. So moving on. Indications of the same thing, right? Crypto platform Binance suspends GBP withdrawals. Cryptocurrency platform Binance has suspended the withdrawal of British pounds and euros as payments provider ClearJunction stopped facilitating them. A statement on ClearJunction's website confirmed the move, citing a Financial Conduct Authority ruling on the exchange. Binance Markets was ordered to remove all advertising and financial promotions by June 30th, and they are no longer permitted to operate in the UK. All right. So basically, as you see, the call for regulation coming out and the signs pointing towards exchanges being the target, Binance is in the spotlight right now. They're the exchange everyone's coming after. And I believe that's because it was started because of Binance Smart Chain. So that's essentially Binance Scam Chain. If you've ever used it, all of the new crap that launches starts over there at this point. It's just like the hub for launching scams. So while all the real good crypto that have been around forever and compliant, they have their AML or KYC, they're going up a little, 200-300% over a year, something like that. And then Binance Scam Chain is launching 20,000% returns, 30,000% returns for the founders, and then people go in there and chase the crypto, get dumped on, and lose their money. All right, so that's going to go away, and it will pivot towards the compliant exchanges. So crypto exchanges have a plan to beat Binance. Play by the rules. That's the plan. So Coinbase, Kraken, and Gemini are embracing regulation and playing the long game, while Binance is not. Essentially the story here in this Bloomberg article. As they point out, in late June, the financial watchdog, as I mentioned, UK told a Binance affiliate that it wasn't authorized to carry out regulated activities in the country, and the pressure on Binance raises the odds that several exchanges pledging to comply with tough US regulations may soon find themselves operating with less competition in some of the world's biggest economies. Right? So there's Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, Bitrex, and a few others, and also Binance US, which, as they go on to mention here, basically Brian Brooks, the CEO now of Binance, who was the acting comptroller of the US last year, who activated some crypto-friendly regulations for banks and institutions, so on. He's actually been good for the space up to this point. He says Binance US has really no affiliation with Binance. They essentially bought the name, the branding from Binance, but don't fall under their control or power or anything like that. So completely detached. So if you are kind of wondering what's going on, my point here being Binance is under attack essentially, and you have a Binance US account, I wouldn't necessarily be concerned with that one because they're essentially two completely different things. All right. Binance US has nowhere near the amount of crypto on their exchange that Binance does. And they also don't allow you to withdraw your money technically to the Binance Smart Chain, which is, like I said, the reason I think that they're getting regulations brought down on them. Anyway, moving on, there's an opportunity here, I believe, for these exchanges as an investment at all. As well. So coming over to the Coinbase chart, as you can see here, I've pointed out a few things that look bullish in the chart. The price has been steadily falling up to this point, but we've seen a few lower or higher lows right here, as well as RSI trending up. I think that Coinbase can definitely reverse from this point, especially if the market turns bullish, which I think is about to happen. All right. As you can see with the stock market is continuing to go up, and up to this point, crypto is definitely correlated with stocks. It's already recovered from, stock market's already recovered from its May sell-off, so I think crypto is about to follow. But anyway, I honestly think Coinbase is going to become one of the largest companies in the world over the next 5 to 10 years. I would not be surprised at all. All right, they're already very profitable. They're about a $50 billion company, one of the largest IPO in history up to this point. And they continue to work with the regulators instead of just trying to go rogue and do their own thing and have an office in Malta that they claim is compliant, and then this and then that. And none of it's actually true, kind of just like Binance. So, but anyway, when it comes to blocking off these on and off ramps, I think that the governments will use companies like Coinbase to do so. All right, that will only let the exchanges that have been compliant continue to live on, and they will use them as these on and off ramps into the crypto space. So obviously you're going to have your Fidelities, your Schwabs, and your Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanleys, all those involved as well. But when it comes to these exchanges, there's going to be a select few. That's why I think Coinbase could definitely increase in value. So tying onto that, talking about Link2, if you guys didn't know, you can buy private equity on here as well. And I mentioned this because I've talked about Kraken earlier in this video, and you can still buy their stock on here. Obviously, you have to be an accredited investor, but if you have interest, Coinbase, whenever it came out, was $30 over here, like 20-30 bucks on Link2. And then obviously you can see now it's trading at $243, and it IPO'd up over $400 within the same day. So that's like, pretty easy money right there, in my opinion. So if you're an accredited investor, maybe check out getting some shares on here. Kraken, Link2, Uphold, another exchange itself. So yep, they're planning to IPO eventually as well. Kraken will if Coinbase did. So this could be a new easy play in the crypto space. We all know it's coming. All right, moving on. Yet another one. AML compliance mandatory for foreign crypto exchanges, says Korean regulator. South Korea's strict crypto regulatory oversight is now extending to overseas exchanges that offer cryptocurrency trading services denominated in the country's currency. Yoon Sung-soo, chairman of South Korea's Financial Services Commission, said that foreign crypto exchanges that deal in the Korean won must comply with the country's AML standards. All right. So the theme of the day in the past few weeks has been that the exchanges are the target point and they must be KYC, AML compliant. You get the picture, right, guys? In it, on a more positive note, crypto billionaire says regulatory scrutiny may be a good thing for the industry. As I mentioned, I agree with this. He says, I think that such of a crackdown may be a good thing for the industry in the long term, and that the action will weed out the bad actors while improving the reputation of the industry. Totally agree with all that. and all this. I mean, let's face it, the retail speculation, that's cute and all, but you're not going to get these crazy returns in utility and all that stuff that you're expecting down the road without the industry becoming compliant. So I expect this to continue to happen, but in the end, all it's going to do is make it more legitimate, right? And improve the reputation as indicated by Wu Jihan. All right, that should do it for today. Hope that was informative. Make sure to, keep your eye on this because it's a real thing. It's not anything to just bury your head and ignore, right? If you have money scattered around on these crazy exchanges, might want to be a little more cautious there and protect it. I'm not saying, hey, I'm not trying to tell you to do anything. I'm just trying to provide you with important information that I think you should know. All right. As I said, that should do it. Hope that was informative. As always, please like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.
Paper money is going away.
Yes.
And crypto is a far better way to transfer value than pieces of paper. That's for sure.
Without a doubt.
That has its pros and cons.
Just to clarify, Tesla's not going to start selling Bitcoin anytime soon.
No, we're not.
Okay, you heard it here first, even though everyone thought that.
Yeah, right.